So recently, one of the Studio Series Bumblebees got a re-release. I think it was Studio Series 49. And a lot of people were excited to get it and said they missed it the first time around. Now me, personally, I've reviewed a few of the Studio Series Bumblebees and I detested all of them. I really think they've been wildly over-engineered for such a small thing. But I did like the Jeep one. Got me to thinking, are the Studio Series ones actually better than what the original were? And enter our buddy Maximal10, who gave me Stealth Bumblebee to go back in time and take a little look at. Is this guy any good? Is he as good or better than the modern Studio Series offerings? I'm not usually a live-action Bumblebee fan. I'm not usually a Bumblebee fan. How will this guy fare? We're about to find out in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, light 'em up, baby! Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is the 07 live action Stealth Bumblebee. I'm sure it's a reuse of probably the regular Bumblebee mold, which I have not, to my knowledge, taken a look at. But I was really intrigued to take a look at this because, like I said, I have not been impressed with the Studio Series offerings, or for that matter, the MPM offerings for the live action Bumblebee. I don't think they've been well done. I don't think they've been well engineered. I have not liked any of the transformations. I feel like all the time there's too much robot to go squat up under the car shell. But that really did, like I said, get me thinking about back in time with this guy. How good is this guy? Is it better? Is it worse? Does it show its age? Does it still stand head and shoulders above new offerings? Because newer is not always better. How about we find out together when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy? So not for nothing, but with the recent reissue of one of these Studio Series movie Bumblebees, I thought that it was a great time to fit this guy in, courtesy of our buddy Maximal10. This is the Transformers, I think it's from the original movie in 07, Stealth Bumblebee. And the story goes that basically everybody knew who Bumblebee was now, and his picture in both alt mode and vehicle mode was like all up and around everywhere on the internet and stuff, and Michaela helps him to like come up with this new color scheme so that he can blend in and hide better and keep, you know, Sam and his family safe and blah 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 blah. Okay, cool, I guess. I have detested the Studio Series versions of Bumblebee, and I'm going to tell you now, I think that this version, as old as it is infinitely better than any Studio Series Bumblebee that I have had the displeasure of looking at. If I was going to pick a live-action Bumblebee, I would go back in time and try and get this mold or some version of it. I think it's that good. It rolls like a champion, painted nicely. Obviously, the color scheme is adapted. I mean, by rights, for looking like Bumblebee, I'm gonna have to give it a low score because it's reversed, you know, colors. So we might mush that score a little bit. But man, oh man, does this look sleek. At least it does to me. We'll do the transformation, and then we're going to talk about his scores after. On the bottom, by the way, you can mostly see the robot down here. It is what it is. And I'll say this, I think that the matchup of the paint and the plastic and the yellowy color or the orangey color is actually fairly decent. B comes with this bio sheet here, and I mean, you can see it on this side. That's his instructions. They're actually really good instructions. Might be worth noting at this point that there is one more accessory that I haven't shown yet. I'll show it when we get it out, because right now it's his blaster blade that's down here between his legs. Fun fact though, when I transformed him and was fiddling with him and put him back in car mode, I forgot to put his blaster back, and it has two 5mm pegs on either side of it, and it goes into 5mm peg holes on the two legs. Luckily though, even in vehicle mode, if you forgot to put this in, you can finagle the legs apart just enough to get this up here and solidified in. So just something worth noting, because a lot of times if you forget to store, you know, an accessory, you gotta half untransform the figure again to, you know, to get back to it. Okay, so where do we begin here with this guy? I think we're gonna begin here at the back, and we're gonna, there, pick those pieces up. Once we have those pieces up, we should be able to open out those doors. Once we have the pieces up and the doors out, we can split that, because that's going to be his arms, and then these front tires slide out. So that all of it now is out to the side. I guess next we can now split the legs, and that does come out. This is a blaster. If you want, you can actually open the pieces back and it becomes like a blade, right? You can leave them forward or you can open them back. We'll see more of that a little bit later in his hand. Let's see, I'm gonna adjust the camera slightly because we need to adjust his orientation a little bit. Now his upper body may go off screen as we do the lower body here, but I want to do the lower body so we can stand our boy up. And how do we do the lower body? Actually, I think it's genius. So we fold that part of the fender up, and then we come here and we begin to bring the leg down. Now as we bring the leg down, the windshield or the rear windshield automatically automorphs in. When we have that all down and done, we can straighten up the foot, straighten out the toe. Boom, leg now done. The other one, I'm going to show it from the outside here, or try to anyway. We bring that piece of the fender up around on his thigh, hip, and then we just take the toe and extend it all the way down and extend up a toe thusly. And again, some stuff automorphed to the inside of the leg. And now we can stand B up. Yes, I know the upper body has gone off screen, but bear with me a moment because I wanted to show you guys the lower body first. And now that we've got the glorious lower body done, let's do the upper body, which I find a little more cumbersome. The chest piece here should, assuming these are out far enough, this should just flip down, but I never feel like it. I'm not comfortable flipping it down. Let me put it that way. Then these rotate up. And after they rotate up, you should be able to like angle them in on the back. The chest comes down and you bring up the two little chest pieces on the side here, angle those back, and now you should be able to just straighten up this arm and straighten up this arm, rotate the kibble on the back of the arm around so that it's up on the arm, straighten up those feet and whatnot, and boom, in the end, I guess open these out. Here we have Stealth Bumblebee in his robot mode. And man, do I like the look of this. So the transformation I think is very smooth, very clean, a ton of moving parts, but all of it is logical and makes sense. We have a little automorph down there. The shoulders and what you do here with the door wing and the front fender is a little wonky, but it's not too bad once you get used to it and kind of get it in place. I'm going to give it a solid, I'm going to say a 9. In terms of the look, obviously, Bumblebee's colors are reversed and backwards, which means by rights I want to give him something like a 2, because it's not accurate. But, like, you know, this is Bumblebee. You can see he got his battle mask and whatnot. So, I think we're going to call it an 8. Just, I know that it's not accurate, but I just feel like an 8 makes sense here, because the whole silhouette screams Bumblebee. So an 8 and a 9, 8.5, and then we have this thing. It will slot into his hand via this holder, I suppose, here. So it just slots up because he has open hands. It slots up there. If you want the blade out, cool. Open those out, and now he has his kind of battle blade thing. So that's neat. It's too bad that I don't really think there's a place to store it in this mode. I could be wrong, but I'm not seeing it offhand. Let's do the articulation. That's the last thing. Remember, right now our guy is getting about an 8.5. At 8.5 we have a head that goes left and right, a little forward and back. It's on a ball joint. Sometimes it pops off. Just beware. The shoulders are weird because of the way they're affixed to this section here. But I mean, they'll get forward, and I don't know if they'll get you all the way around. Oh no, they will. They'll get you all the way around if you needed to. It's a little funny, but they'll do it. Arms all the way out to the side, no problemo. We have bicep swivel, elbow to 90 degrees. We even have a wrist rotation. We do sort of have a waist and an ab crunch. There's the way this is built, you have a bit of a waist and a bit of an ab crunch, but it's a bit strange. Full splits though out to the side. Leg forward, ton, leg back, ton, thigh swivel. I'm getting a 90-degree knee. Not really a thigh swivel, you get a wiggle up at the ball joint at the hip. Toes forward and back, nothing to the side. So, I mean, maybe a dedicated thigh swivel, maybe ankle tilt, but that would be it. That would really be it that I could want for this guy. He was getting an 8.5, and I think that the articulation is probably an 8. I'm going to say overall this bee is an 8.25, which is probably, unless we're talking about the Jeep bee from the beginning of the Bumblebee movie, I did like that one. But for any of the other like Camaro Studio Series bees, I haven't enjoyed any of them. I feel like they're over-engineered for something so small. This feels right. This feels the correct engineering, the correct size, the correct materials. Everything feels great and good here. 8.25. And here we are once again, and here he is. And boy, oh boy, he's fantastic. So, a few years ago, I took a look at some like armed up version of like a live action Bumblebee, and I said, wow, this is like my favorite live action Bumblebee I've looked at, even though it was quite stylized. It was supposed to be like an armed up version or something. I don't even know what it was called now. And for anybody who has actually seen my reviews of the Studio Series Bumblebees, you know that I have not been impressed. I have not enjoyed the transformations. I just didn't like them. This is spectacular. I look at the robot and I'm like, captures the silhouette really well, though I do wish that there was a way for this to fold up better on his back. However, even with that on his back, like, it doesn't really affect his articulation or anything, so I kind of give it a pass. For everybody that complains about translucent plastic, again, it's not new. It's just, I don't know, man. Stop complaining about it. It's as good as any other plastic. I like the paint here. I like the silhouette. I love the transformation. I think that it's interesting, but like at the same time it's very intuitive, and like you've got a couple of pieces that just kind of automorph, like the windshield in on the side of the leg. Then when we get in robot mode, we have not only a great looking robot, but he's solid on his feet. Really good articulation. The shoulders are a bit weird with the angle of the ball peg, but like they're effective and they work just fine. One might complain about the kibble on the back of the arm, and granted, it does sort of knock into the tire a little bit, but like you can get what you need from that arm, even with that kibble there, really no problem. Going from car to robot, easy. Going from robot to car, easy. Color me shocked, but this is, for me, for my opinion, everything new, everything old, this is probably one of, if not the best, live action Bumblebee molds I've ever looked at. Whether you have this version or I would assume a regular colored version. Really, really excellent. Let me know what you think about this iteration of live action Bumblebee if you have experienced this mold. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, man. Stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that somehow, someway, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here, inside the videos.